Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
And we get things going with another edition of College Sports Today. We have wrapped up week number 9, heading into week 10 of the college football season. So very glad you're here as we look back and kind of peek ahead in and around the world of college football. You know, this guy, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, joins us here on the program. We'll talk a lot of Florida, Georgia, review that game, things we saw, things that kind of shaped the game, and a lot of storylines now around the world of college football as we are getting deep into the season. Coach Spurrier, Georgia, as good as advertised. You were over there. I was over there at the ball game. As good as advertised, Florida had to really play a near-perfect game, and they hung in there for a long time in that first half, but Georgia's just too good.
Yeah, our defense played well. You know, as everybody knows, it was three to nothing when those 3 consecutive turnovers happened right at the end of the half there that just about took us completely out of the game. You don't come back, I don't think, from 21 point or 24 point deficit that we had there. But anyway, our defense played well, and our offense played hard. Anthony, first start ever. Had one bad play on the pick 6.
Sure, that was tough, yeah.
Trying to throw that hitch against, I don't know what their coverage was. It looked like some kind of 2-man.
Yeah, and that was the backer. It was Malik Davis, the running back, was wide, and their backer went out with him, 17. It was a backer that chased the, he lined up with the running back.
He watched the quarterback and went and picked it off.
But, and, the running back was close to the sidelines. That's a long throw. That was a telegraphed long throw, not good.
Yeah. But anyway, that put us behind the 8 ball. But, our guys played with a lot of effort, especially our defensive guys. I thought our O-line played pretty dang well, too.
Not bad.
It was just it was a tough day. And to beat Georgia, you can't have those kind of turnovers. And unfortunately, we did.
Anthony Richardson, a tough spot for your first start. I would have liked to have seen Anthony earlier in the year get a little more time. I wish he'd had another 50 passes under his belt or so. And, I know he was injured a couple games, but I always thought there were 3 or 4 games where he could have got a little more experience. I would have liked him to have had a few more snaps, but he had some good moments, some tough moments. The fumble, coach, was one of the big moments. Florida gets backed up after the interception. They're trying to get off the goal line. It's still 3-0. And the fumble, he had already gotten past the first down marker. Did you know that?
It was impressive the way our O-line knocked their D-line backwards, and he was churning his feet. I said, man, this is good. This is good momentum. And then next thing we knew, the Georgia player stripped him while he was still up in the air, and that is the right call. Now, if the pile was going backwards and you strip him, I think it's not a fumble. Is that correct?
Yes, that is. I think that is the forward momentum and things like that. But, a lot of people didn't notice that. I think they started the drive at the 1 right there. He needed to get to the 11. He was crossing. He fell toward the 13.
Yeah.
That was first down.
It'd been first down and maybe get out of the half 3-0 or so. I don't know.
And Florida received the second half kickoff. So you're sitting there at that point, if you're in that stadium as we were watching, you're thinking, Florida gets out of here down 3-0. They get the catch their breath, take the quarterback in and locker room and talk to him a little bit and get the second half kickoff. But, boy, Coach, you've been around sometime just a 2 or 3 minute period, just everything either goes right for you or wrong for you. It went right for Georgia between the fumble, the Gator interception. Player goes into the end zone, thinks he had to come out, remember? And his momentum took him in. He could have downed it right there. Kid wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So he gets
it's one of those
pinned him back.
Circumstances you probably don't practice and you don't talk about it.
Sure, that much.
Yeah,
sure.
it's just interesting. Well, I've never seen that before. This, that, and the other. Yeah, but he thought he had to get that ball out of the end zone, I guess. So he squirmed out to about the 1.5.
Yeah.
And
he couldn't get off the goal line. Yeah, couldn't get off. Bad things happened from that moment. Of course, we are here on a Monday edition of College Sports Today, presented by our title sponsor. I always want to thank the good folks over at the Allen Law Firm, based in Gainesville and Ocala, 2 offices there. They service everybody throughout the state of Florida, the Allen Law Firm, and our good friends at Future Home Loans. Remember now, they've got a very, very big Veterans Day event. I'll tell you more about November 11th. That is a veteran-owned company. They're having a big thing in Neptune Beach up in North Florida. If you're a veteran in that area, I'll tell you all about it as we go. But thanks to 2 of our great sponsors, we've got a lot of great sponsors here on the program. Was Georgia as good as you thought? Do they have enough offense when they start playing? They're going to make it to the Final Four, it looks like. When they play a team that's going to get on the scoreboard a little bit, does Georgia have enough offense, Coach, looking way down the road when they play some offensive-minded teams that can score?
Yeah, that'd be the good question right there. You know, they only had 3 till right there at the end of the first half, so some of these other schools probably are better offensively, but their defense can get turnovers, and obviously maybe the best in the country defensively. So time will tell, but they're not a high-scoring offense, that's for sure.
Yeah. Noise now around Coach Mullen, noise around the Florida roster, and is it talented enough? Can it get turned around? Some tough times going on right now around the Florida football program, and Coach Mullen, will there be moves at the end of the year? Coach, you've said it before, man. A lot of good ball players make your coaching a lot easier.
Yeah, we when those recruiting rankings come out, we need to be about number 3 to 5 or 6, something like that. Georgia's and Alabama are always 1 and 2. And they do have a few more big, heavy, strong ball players. And we all know that. But our new facility's kicking in 2022.
And that thing's getting close to being done.
Hopefully that will help our recruiting and go from there. But, whether or not Coach Mullen makes a few changes. He made a few on defense last year.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. But he's not going anywhere, and people need not even talk about that.
Yeah.
He just signed a brand new big contract, so we're not losing our coach. So we got to recruit our way out a little bit and just play a little bit better. But I think everything's in place to have a heck of a team next year.
And 2 dates I want to throw out that if you, in any college program, if you have to make some coaching turnover, 2 dates that make it tougher now than in the old days. The final Gator regular season game against Florida State in Gainesville is November 27th. We all know that. If you're going to make some coaching changes, probably in and around maybe the next day, you announce a few. You probably don't keep these guys through the bowl season because, Coach, people may forget. We're in year 3, I think it is, of the early signing period. If you're making a bunch of coaching changes November 27th, November 28th, the signing period is December 15th. You're talking 18 days to try and go call a kid or 2 and say, hey, I know you may not know me or I've been recruiting you to this school, but hey, so there's a crunch now with the early signing period is December. It's that 3rd Wednesday in December. And they have the second one, but everybody signs that first one now. So you're crunched in there if you make coaching changes from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, it's about, 75% of the
sign early, yes, sir.
Yeah, and then the portal, though. The portal is the big thing now.
Sure.
And they were talking on the radio, Michigan State got over 40 kids out of the portal.
Wow,
and that's
how about
why
that?
They're 8-0 right now. And then they were talking about Dabo Swinney said, I'm not going to go in that portal. I want my recruits to know you're going to be our guys. And he may be having second thoughts about that.
Well, Coach K, the great Coach K, who he used to say 10 years ago, these one and dones, I want to keep grooming my guys. Well, you know what he did?
Adapt.
He started adapting to the one and doners.
Yeah, I guess you have to.
Yes.
And get with the times.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another thing for next year or what have you.
Absolutely. Coach, a couple more thoughts on Florida, Georgia, then we'll take a break. We'll take a lap around college football. A lot of stuff happened this past weekend, and a lot of teams now positioning themselves. But going back to Florida, Georgia, I thought obviously the turnovers late in the second quarter was a key. Georgia only had a 3-point lead, and Florida was trying to get to the locker room and come out in the second half, get the opening kickoff. I thought a couple other areas were interesting. Georgia leading 3-0. starting to get late in the second quarter. Florida had their first drive. They're just flying down the field, trailing 3-0. The Gators get 1st and 10 on the Georgia 31. Looks like they're blazing to go in and take the lead. 1st and 10, 31. Things look great. Great looking drive. Semi-roll to the left. Richardson gets sacked. It turns into 2nd and 21, turns into the double pass, turns into the and things went down.
Away.
You remember the play?
Yeah, he had to throw it away. I'm back there saying, throw it away, and he sort of drifted and drifted. I think it was about a 15-yard sack.
Yeah, 11-yard sack.
It was way back there. Yeah, that was a bad play. And then I don't know.
And he'll learn, right? That just happens fast. Is that why a quarterback has it happen?
I guess. Yeah. And then we tried to go for 4th and 11. When it, again, I thought would have been about a 50-yard field goal. And our kid can reach from there.
He's got the leg. He's been a little erratic.
Oh, yeah, he missed 2.
Yeah.
But I thought maybe 4th and 11 we'd try to kick that one, but coach decided to go for that one.
Yeah, so that was a tough. Florida really was blazing down the field. The Gators, as choppy as they were on offense, with a really young quarterback and an offensive line that was going against a bunch of future NFL guys, Florida got 360 yards. I mean, that's not terrible. Another area, and Anthony will he'll grow into this. This was in the first quarter, Coach, and they run a really nice design play. They ran some momentum of the defense to the right. They throw back to the tight end right on Florida's sideline. And Gamble is wide open. And it's on the press box side, so it was on our side. We were at the game. And it's a completed pass, but he nearly airmailed it. He nearly threw it over his head. If he throws it a decent pass, there was another 20, 25 yards. That play design was perfect. Gamble was alone, but he had to catch the ball and stay in bounds.
He barely got a foot in.
Barely got a foot in.
Yeah, if he could have kept that one down a little bit.
20 more yards.
He'd made a lot more yards.
20 more yards, but it played out. Georgia was the better team. Georgia continues on now. They've clinched the East, so they are in Atlanta. But it's important that Georgia doesn't lose before they get to Atlanta, because then they've got a little bit of wiggle room. They could lose that game. As we go to break, the West is still open. There are 4 teams or so still swinging in the West. The West, Alabama's not guaranteed to go.
No. I think.
Have you looked at the standings? Yeah.
I think Auburn just has 1 loss over there, and Mississippi State same way.
And don't forget, A&M has 2, but they've beat Alabama.
Yeah.
So if Alabama gets a second loss, A&M would get the tiebreaker over Bama.
Right.
There's a lot of football in the West.
There sure is.
There is a lot of football left
and Mississippi
in the West.
State.
They're playing good.
That's the best I've seen Mike Leach's team
playing good
in a while, because they ran the ball 33 times.
How about that?
And their running backs are dang good players. They knife in there and they catch the little swing passes, and most of the time they make the first guy miss. Instead of 3 yards, they're making about 7 and 8 yards.
Yeah.
So it's
been a nice year for them.
The air raid is getting a little smarter about running the ball occasionally. And I still wish the dangest thing happened right before the half. They made an interception on the 1-yard line.
Okay.
All right. So Mississippi State, all they were trying to do is run the ball and get the half over with. There's like 10 seconds. But Mississippi State doesn't get under center. So they're back there in the gun, and they don't use tight ends. And I'm sitting there saying they're going to blitz him and hit him behind the line, but they didn't do it. And they ran up the middle, and he got out of the end zone. But, man,
that's risky.
Yeah. I said, how you going to get it out of the end zone?
So snapping the ball in the end zone.
He's 5 yards back there in the end zone.
You get a safety or fumble.
But anyway, they got away with it. I think next thing he probably will do the next time is just catch it and then throw it somewhere.
Yeah, you think.
But don't get intentional grounding, because that's
out
a
of the end
safety
zone.
also.
Out of the end zone.
But they have no way for the quarterback to ever get under center, so that's interesting.
Interesting, but Mississippi State is playing good.
Oh yeah, they got good players.
They undressed Kentucky. That game wasn't close. They beat Kentucky
defense is tough kids and well coached. It's a well coached team.
Definitely. Let's take a quick break. Come back. We'll take a full lap around. A lot happened. Michigan State among some of the games. A lot happened over the weekend. We'll look at that with Coach Steve Spurrier on the other side. It is College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. We are back here, College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm. We are coming to you from inside, of course, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Place is rocking and rolling. Nothing but great reviews for Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Come on over anytime you're in the Gainesville, Alachua County area. We're in the Celebration Point area. The new development is just spectacular over here, and new things being built, and wonderful stores to shop, and movie theater. It's just a fun place. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill inside Celebration Point. We're inside Coach's podcast room. We call it the Future Home Loans Studio here with the head ball coach. Coach, a lot of ball over the weekend. Some tough losses for different programs, some big wins for different programs. Boy, Michigan and Jim Harbaugh, they had another tough loss. Coach, we were over at Florida, Georgia. I know I saw you and your wife pregame. That game was kind of going on pregame of Florida, Georgia. Michigan was dominating that game. They had a 16-point lead late in the third quarter and got outscored 23-3. Tough, good win for Michigan State. Tough loss for Harbaugh and Michigan. They're on him hot now.
Yeah, I was surprised because I knew Michigan was ahead.
30 to 14. They were up 16 points late in the third quarter.
Michigan State came back and got them.
Yeah.
But Michigan's not dead yet. You know, if they can beat Ohio State and Ohio State beats Michigan State, I don't know who wins the 10. They're going to have to flip a coin.
Ohio State, their final two are Michigan State at home, at Michigan. They all play each other here the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So they're all kind of in it, but boy, that one, the Michigan folks, you know, hearing some people broadcasting and stuff, and fair or foul, but, you know, Michigan folk, they look at Michigan State like the little brother. And the little brother beat them bad last year. And they came back. They were down 6. Michigan was dominating that game, Coach.
Yeah, the Big Ten, they need to get their divisions realigned.
Really out of balance.
They got all the best teams in one of them.
Yes.
Michigan State, Ohio State, and Penn State, I think.
State,
all four of them
all
over there. On the other side, who's winning it?
Yeah.
Wisconsin still alive?
Iowa has fallen back.
They're out.
They've fallen back. They were the darlings, but now the word is now, as crazy as it sounds, Wisconsin and Minnesota, if things hold, they're going to get together for their jug game or whatever they call it, and the winner may go.
Well, that's
Iowa has fallen way down.
That's the way you do it when the division plays the winner of the other division. That's the way we do it in the SEC. But normally there's a good team on both sides, and it's not completely like they have it up there. But the Big 12 does it, to me, the best way. The top two teams play each other.
Top two go.
And
that's a lot of fun. You got Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Baylor kind of wiggling it out.
And they all play each other during the season. So that's the most fair one of all of them, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I want to. We got Dan chimed in about something I said earlier. Maybe it wasn't real clear. Dan says, well, Georgia's in the playoff if they lose in the regular season but win the SEC championship game. Agreed. Yes. What I said was the rest of the games, it's important for Georgia to close out 12-0 because if they get to Atlanta 12-0, they could lose that game. And they're still getting in. 12-1 Georgia, dominant number one team second half of the year. If Georgia was to have lost to Florida or lose to Tennessee, if Georgia drops a game, they must win. So Atlanta is not a mulligan game. So that's kind of wanted to clear that up. But yeah, getting back to we're kind of lapping around the college football world now. Tough loss, good win for Michigan State. Tough loss for Harbaugh and Michigan. And I tell you, it looks like now that Kenneth Walker, the running back from Michigan State, put on a show. Nearly 200 yards, 5 touchdowns in front of everybody. Word is now that Heisman thing is kind of Bryce Young, this Kenneth Walker kid. He got a lot of PR. You know, that was the Fox National game. And, boy, he put on a show, that running back. Transfer from Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. They're 8-0 right now.
10th in the nation. 10th in the nation.
If they win the ACC and win the championship game, they got to be in that Final Four.
You know who's, absolutely. Oh, they're right in the mix. You know who's, we talked Heisman a moment ago. It looks like Bryce Young, and this thing changes every week. Bryce Young at Alabama's had a steady Eddie season. This Kenneth Walker, I think he's right there now. Matt Corral's kind of played his way out. And, Coach, we were talking during the break a moment ago. I think Corral's a spectacular player. He's gotten beat up. He's such a competitor. He runs and he's a gritty guy. Boy, he has gotten beat up the last 2 or 3. And they've called ball plays around him being beat up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he ran like 30 or 31 times against Tennessee.
And that's where it started.
And the Auburn game, he got a bunch of hits. But, I don't know who's going to win the Heisman right now. I think it's wide open.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. A couple guys. A guy making a late charge is that damn, with crazy big numbers, is that damn quarterback that's taken over at Oklahoma. He just every week's throwing 4 touchdowns and running. Caleb Williams.
Well, yeah, he's just a freshman, and he didn't start until about the middle of the season. So they may let him wait till win it next year or something like that.
You mentioned Wake Forest. Interesting. The poll, the AP poll just came out obviously yesterday. Did you know, Coach, the ACC and the Pac-12 only have one team each in the poll? Wake Forest is the only ACC team, and Oregon is the only Pac-12. Clemson's not in it.
How about
Think about it. Florida State's not in it. Miami's not in it. Pitt just got beat by Miami. They fell out. The ACC's got one, and it's Wake Forest at 10. Highest ranking Wake Forest has ever had, 10th in the nation. But I thought that was interesting. Your son coaches receivers. One of your sons coaches receivers at Mississippi State for Coach Leach. Coach, I had to rub my eyes. Mississippi State, we all picked them to beat Kentucky. We thought we all saw that coming. Mississippi State's playing good ball. Talk about Will Rogers, the quarterback, the numbers he put up. It's just, you don't do this in practice. It was unbelievable.
36 of 39.
That's crazy.
Well, that means receivers caught everything also, but it means Will Rogers throws a very catchable ball. He puts it out there where it's, easy to catch, and those receivers catch everything. But Mississippi State ran the ball 33 times.
How about that?
And
that's odd for them.
And had a bunch of yards there. So to think last year, Mark Stoops played that, 5 short, 3 deep against the air raid and just stymied them completely in Lexington.
Yes.
And this year he came with the same defense and he couldn't stop them. Couldn't stop Mississippi State. So they've learned some new tricks out there. So and Mark Stoops has never beaten Mississippi State in Starkville.
Did not know
so
that.
So there's some home field edge there that Mississippi State Bulldogs have. So they still got Auburn and Alabama left, so they got some big games to see if they can make some noise.
Yeah, definitely. But boy, Mississippi State, it's been a good second year, and you mentioned as well a couple times. People quietly may not notice that Coach Leach, they've put some defense on the field, too. They've picked that defense up a little bit.
They got good defense.
Yeah, they play hard. They bust you in the mouth. They really will. Bringing it back to the state of Florida, it was a tough Freddie was telling us before the show that the state of Florida, bunch of losses between the NFL. All the NFL boys lost in Florida. Obviously, Florida State lost. We'll get to that in a moment. Florida lost to Georgia. Getting back to the other thing, Miami and FSU are playing pretty good football. The light's going on a little bit. Miami's had 2 upset wins in a row I didn't see coming. They had a nice win at Pittsburgh, and FSU came up short, but they gave Clemson all they wanted. I think Miami and the light's coming on a little bit for Miami and FSU. They're playing better football.
Yeah, they got a lot of good players, both schools, and if they play smart and make a play or two here or there, they're capable of beating just about anybody.
Yeah.
So our game with FSU will not be an easy one, I don't think.
Boy, that thing has changed. The dynamic of the Florida State-Florida game in Gainesville, November 27th, that has changed. I mean, FSU, everybody wrote them off, right? They opened so bad. They lost to Jacksonville State. Are they going to win a game, people were saying? Are they going to win one game? Well, you know what? Mike Norvell's done a pretty good job, I think, holding on to that team, holding on to that locker room, cleaned out some players. He has held on to that locker room. I'll tell you one thing, depending on the rest of the season for Florida, how Florida goes into that game on the 27th of November mentally, FSU is going to want to win that game. That probably is going to be their bowl game. They may not get quite to 6. That'll be their bowl game. And they'll be sky high to win that game.
Yeah.
Now, we got weeks to talk about it, but
that's down the road a little bit. But yeah, they'll be tough. They'll be a tough one for us.
a couple more thoughts. Another tough loss for Sarkisian in Texas. Boy, they're right there. They just can't finish games off. They had Baylor 21-10. I watched a lot of that pre-Florida Georgia. Texas was cruising 21-10, and Baylor started popping it off in the second half, and a tough loss for Texas. He's close, though. They've got some players still at Texas, I think.
Yeah, I thought they'd do a little bit better this year, but he's lost a bunch of close games.
Ones.
He's had the lead after 3 quarters in about every game, I think.
But so.
He has not finished them off, so he's got to wait till next year to compete for the Big 12. But of course, Oklahoma, they're the darlings of the Big 12 right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Cincinnati's in a real tough spot. They're second. They're in a very tough spot. They're second in the AP poll. They've been second for a couple weeks. Tomorrow, the first official poll comes out, and Cincinnati, through no fault of their own, mark my words, every week that the CFP poll comes out, it starts tomorrow, Cincinnati's going to fall, even when they win. Their resume is going to have them fall. Teams are going to pass Cincinnati. And I'll tell you what hurt them bad. SMU got beat over the weekend by Houston. SMU was ranked about 17th. Cincinnati needs another big win. They were hoping SMU would creep up and be 12th in the country when they play them and beat them. SMU got beat by Houston. Houston just popped in the poll, but boy, that hurt Cincinnati in terms of their resume. They needed SMU to keep winning and climbing in the poll.
That's true. And you got to win big in their situation if you want to try to make that Final Four. But, they're trying to win their conference championship. That's the first goal.
Sure.
So that's probably what Coach Fickle is concentrating on right now. Hey, let's win our conference championship, and then we'll worry about the Final Four and all that later.
Coach, final thought or so, unless you've got a couple of things we'll let you get about your business. Tough news, just because I've always liked the guy. I know you know the guy, but late yesterday, I guess it broke that TCU, Texas Christian, and Coach Patterson, 20-year coach at TCU, and he really took that program. Took him out to a Rose Bowl, I believe. They've parted ways. I've always thought he was a good coach, defensive-minded guy.
Yeah, wonderful guy, Gary Patterson, and I think it was sort of a shock to all of us. I think the people there at TCU wanted him to finish the season and then announce his retirement and go through the last 3 or 4 games here, and he said, no, if I'm not the coach, I need to move on. And I can understand that. That's what I did. When I was finished there, and when the players quit listening to me, the AD said, you ought to stay and finish the year, and I said, I can't, because they don't want me here, and it's best for me to get out of the way. So, and I was hoping the interim coach might do some good, but he didn't do good enough to get the job and keep some of the assistants. But sometimes it's time for change. I don't know all the situation at TCU, but Gary Patterson's a wonderful guy.
It seems like, Coach, that we're having more in-season stuff like that, coaching moves, or maybe I'm just misremembering it. But man, you got LSU's open and USC's open and TCU's. A lot more seem to be opening during the season now. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
just we're in a quick society now or something. I don't know.
I think the ADs think if I get rid of the guy early, I got
head
more
start.
time to
Head
find
start.
another
Yeah.
coach or this, that, and the other, and try to get one before somebody else gets him. I don't know all the exact reasons.
Coach, we'll get out of here. You'll be back. We'll have your picks on Friday. Again, boy, the big game really in college football. We talked about the SEC West still playing itself out. Auburn and Texas A&M. That's kind of a must-win to stay in it. But, boy, Auburn, they got two tough games still, A&M and Alabama. But Auburn is going to help determine that West. And A&M is still in there. They've got 2 losses in conference, but A&M's got the win over Alabama. They've got the tiebreaker over Alabama. A lot of ball left, a lot of ball in the West, and just a lot of ball in general. We missed anything, Coach? Wanted to get to? We hit everything, I think.
I think we've covered most of the college football world.
Yeah.
I was just thinking back this summer, everybody say, how the Gators going to do? And I said, well, we got to beat the Georgia Bulldogs if we're going to get to Atlanta to try to beat Alabama. But as it turned out the other day, even if we'd won, there was no chance to get to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So we got to regroup, try to win these last 4, and hopefully win a bowl game.
Yeah.
Hopefully all the guys will want to play.
Yeah, bowl games are different animals
win a
now.
bowl game.
Bowl games are different animals now.
So you can get some momentum going into recruiting season. I tell you, get your butt blown out in those bowl games. That doesn't help recruiting. So
no, not at all.
No, we need to finish strong.
Ronnie got on board, and you addressed this. I don't know if we were on air or off air. Is Mullen safe at Florida? He's safe. You were mentioning before. He's safe. He's fine going into next year. Probably got to make a few changes, and he probably wants to make a few changes. When you're kind of stuck in the same purgatory, you kind of I think common sense says make a change or two. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, you may want to. Shake it up. Coach, thanks so much. We'll get your picks on Friday, the Safe Harbor Seafood picks. Oh, by the way, real quick, you had a nice week, 8-2. Shane was 9-1. He had a good rebound. Shane scuffled the last few weeks. I was steady Eddie, 7-3. So you had a little 8-2, 9-1 for Shaner, and then 7-3. So this thing's coming down. The most important stats of the season, this thing coming down. Week 10. We're heading into week 10
Goes fast, doesn't it?
Goes real fast. Hang tight, folks. We'll come back on the other side. We'll let Coach Spurrier get about his business here on a Monday. We'll come back, wrap things up. More to talk about. It is a Monday edition of College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
All the good vibes we had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida, and of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill.
Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach, the official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach, the proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Welcome back as we are putting a final touch on a Monday edition College Sports Today, coming to you from the Future Home Loans Studios. Boy, what a great outfit, what a great operation, Future Home Loans. Number one, a very proud veteran-owned company, great mortgage brokerage company, growing like you cannot believe, well over 2,000 five-star reviews. That means they do what they do, and they do it right. People are very, very satisfied. If you're in the market for a mortgage, refinance, anything like that, contact Future Home Loans. And a big Veterans Day event coming up. We'll tell you more about it as we get closer to November 11th, which of course is Veterans Day. Also, always want to thank our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm. Easy way to get in touch with the good folks. If you've got a question, maybe you or someone you love has been involved in an accident, been injured, or you think you've been wronged in some way, and you just want some expert advice. Don't just carry it around thinking about it. Give them a call. That's what their free consultation is for. Pick up your phone, dial pound YES, pound yes, or you can check out and do their virtual consultation as well on their wonderful website, allenlaw.com, ALLEN, allenlaw.com. Two great sponsors, two of many great sponsors that make our show happen. We let Coach Spurrier take off. He'll get his picks in on Friday. The Safe Harbor Seafood picks, of course, really the highlight of our show. A couple non-college event or topics, I should say, as we slowly wrap up on Monday edition of College Sports Day. Boy, tough loss for the Braves last night. World Series has been a lot of fun. And Atlanta, if they're in a closeout situation, they need one more game. Last night was the final game in Atlanta. If the Braves won, they would have won the World Series. They hit a first-inning grand slam, and things look great, 4-0. But, boy, tip of the hat to the Astros. Chip away for two here. They tie it there. When they tied it, I thought, oh, boy, here we go. You know, grand slams are great things if they happen for you, but you kind of want a grand slam to happen in the 8th inning instead of the first inning. If it happens in the 8th inning, a lot of times you can close out the game. But, boy, the Astros hung in there. Now the series goes back to Houston. Braves need one of two. Astros need to sweep. It's been a fun World Series. A lot of interesting stuff happening in the NFL yesterday. Numerous backup quarterbacks came in and put in good day's work and got a lot of wins in the NFL. I saw, keeping an eye on the Jaguar game, I saw something that I never have seen in a football game. The Jaguars playing Seattle, they get routed out in Seattle. Just an ugly performance by Jacksonville. The Jaguars were on defense at one point, and if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. The Jaguars were on defense. They get flagged for 12 men on the field. Referee throws the flag, makes the announcement, marks off the yardage, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty. Jaguars, as the next play, Seattle's about to snap the ball for the next play. There's a shot of the Jaguar coaching staff, Coach Meyer and a bunch of assistants. They're jumping up, going crazy, screaming and hollering. They take a timeout because they still had 12 players on the field. The TV guys did you know how they do the counting, 1, 2, 3, 4. They counted. They got flagged for 12 on the field, and they were about to get it twice if they didn't waste a timeout to get out of it. Never have seen that. Strange happenstance. I had a question here on Facebook Live or a statement about Florida. Coach Spurrier's already left for the day, but he wanted me to ask Coach Spurrier about the photo of Gator football player Jordan Pouncey standing in front of the Gator band as they're playing the Auburn Modern. It looked like he was the only one that stayed on the field Saturday after the Florida-Georgia, and that ruffled a few feathers, a few Gator Nation feathers. Not that it makes it any better, but that picture was at a certain angle, you only saw Pouncey. There were only 3 other players in the other picture I saw. You actually had Pouncey, Josh Braun, the lineman, running back Damian Pierce, and defensive end Zachary Carter. So another picture I saw, at least 4, but I know that ruffled some feathers that only one guy hung out. Well, it wasn't one, it was at least 4. I just wanted to get that on there. In terms of the poll coming out tomorrow, the first college football playoff poll, which will be used to determine the 4 teams that will make the playoffs, comes out tomorrow. Should be really most of the normal culprits, with the exception of Clemson. Georgia won. Right now, if you ask me, I am confident in saying that the national champion will be crowned and come from a pool of 6 teams. Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan State, Oregon. I am discounting one-loss Michigan, and I just don't see any way with their resume Cincinnati is not just going to fall. Even as they keep winning, they're going to fall. I don't think Cincinnati really has much of a shot. They just don't have the resume-building teams on their schedule. But I think your national title is going to come out of Georgia, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan State, Oregon. Interesting. That's my thoughts. I'll stick with it, and we'll finish out the rest of November, and we'll figure it out early in December. That'll wrap it up for a Monday edition. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed bringing it to you. Thanks to Coach Spurrier for hanging out as he does. We'll have all of our picks on Friday. You don't ever want to miss a Friday edition of College Sports Today. Our Safe Harbor Seafood picks are a lot of fun. Shane Matthews will have his picks as well. That'll wrap it up. I want to thank Evan Miller, as I do all the time, or hopefully I do, for producing and helping make this show happen. Behind the scenes is how it happens. Thank you very much to Evan and all of our sponsors. We'll get out of here on a Monday. We'll come back. We'll do it again. It's called College Sports Day, Friday at 11 a.m.